Good morning, all of you. Now, I think we should be starting with the program because our keynote speaker, we cannot let our keynote speaker, Dr. Sandeep Gulia sir, wait for long. It is his humble attitude and greatness that he agreed instantly to the meet. Good morning, Dr. Sandeep Gulia sir.
Good morning, Nandini ma'am.
Good morning, Dr. Rebecca, to you as well. So, we should be
Good
starting
morning,
with
ma'am.
Dean sir is busy, so we are starting the program, okay? Passion, perseverance, and poise are the key to success, so says Bill Gates. Success is a lousy teacher. It seduces smart people into thinking they can't lose. Respected Dean Sir, in absentia Dean Sir, our keynote speaker, respected Dr. Sandeep Gulia Sir, Dr. Rebecca Sinha, Mr. Mrityunjay Singh, all our students, one and all. Welcome you all to this small effort with substantial objective. The Zenith is a step to hone up the diamonds, the budding vets of Ranchi Veterinary College. The students at times feel helpless and are puzzled with the ample questions about how, when, what, and why of career opportunity. This inspired us to think of the series The Zenith, aptly defining the purpose and mandate of the Google Meet. The Zenith will have academicians from different fields so as to acquaint the students with diverse career opportunities post BVSC. Dr. Sandeep Gulia sir, who is currently working as veterinary surgeon in Department of Animal Husbandry and Dairying Haryana, has completed his BVSc and AH from GBP UAT Pantnagar MVSc in Animal Physiology NDRI, MSc in Epidemiology RVC London, funded by CSC Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. हजारों साल नरगिस अपनी बेनूरी पे रोती है, बड़ी मुश्किल से होता है चमन में दीदावर कोई पैदा. So not wasting much time, I invite our keynote speaker for his words of wisdom. Students, please remain muted until sir delivers his lecture, after which session will be open for questions from the students regarding the same. So sir, I request you for your lecture for which we are eagerly waiting.
Good morning, Dr. Nandini. Good morning, Dr. Rebecca, Mrityunjay, and all the UG students of Birsa Agriculture University. I think Dean sir is not here, so I will be starting the presentation now. So if you have any questions, then we can take in the last after completion of the presentation. Can you see my screen?
Yes sir, it is visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the topic of today's lecture is career guidance after Bachelor of Veterinary Science and Animal Husbandry in India and foreign countries. Let me introduce you. I think Dr. Nandini have already introduced, but I will like to tell more about me. I have passed BVSc and AH from GB Pant University, Pantnagar in 2006. Then in 2008, I have done MVSc Animal Physiology from NDRI, India, and then since 2010, I am working as veterinary surgeon in Department of Animal Husbandry and Dairying, Government of Haryana. In 2018, I got a chance to study MSc Veterinary Epidemiology at Royal Veterinary College and London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, London, on a scholarship funded by jointly by Commonwealth Scholarship Commission and RVC. So after BVSc and AH, there are multiple opportunities available to the veterinarians, like pursuing MVSc Master of Veterinary Science in India. There are range of subjects or disciplines in India, like there are about 16 to 18 disciplines like animal genetics, gynecology, surgery. So students have to choose from these disciplines if they have to do masters in India. Then they can do masters in agribusiness management in various institutes. There are specialized institutes like Manage in Hyderabad, then Niam in Jaipur, and there are some agriculture universities like GB Pantnagar University, Birsa Agriculture University, Rajasthan Agriculture University, which conduct agribusiness management course. Then the veterinarians can also open their private pet and large animal clinics. They can also work as JRF, that is Junior Research Fellow, or teaching personnel in veterinary colleges. Uh, about 10 years back, like some people were doing job of teaching personnel after BVSC also, but now in 2021, it is very difficult to get a job or teaching personnel job just after BVSC. So they prefer MVSC students who have completed MVSC. Then one can do PG studies in foreign countries also. Then there are jobs in animal welfare organizations like PFA, People for Animals. Like there are some other animal welfare organizations also, like who are working in the field of castration, like OH in dogs. So that is a new area that is coming up in this modern era due to problem of stray animals. Then most of the veterinarians who pass out can work as veterinary officer in respective animal husbandry departments of their states. But due to lack of funding or lack of budget, now various state governments are putting a stop, or you can say they are not willing to recruit regular veterinarians. So they are going for contracts and all that stuff. Then you can work in veterinary, pharmaceutical, and animal nutrition companies, and you may also work in meat processing plants. So regarding the MVSC choice of the subjects or disciplines, you have to think very much like what you want to do in future, like what are your future plans. There are as there are different subjects, about 16 to 18 subjects in India, ranging from anatomy, genetics to extension, veterinary economics. So the best option to choose the subject in which you have the most interest. So you should choose the subject in which you have the most interest. Like if you are interested in clinical subjects, clinical work, then you should go for PG in surgery, gynecology, or medicine. If you have interest in like some lab work, then you should go for PG in biotechnology, parasitology, microbiology. So like that. And the admission in major in central institutes like IVRI, NDRI, and other state agriculture and veterinary universities are through ICR JRF PG exam that is now conducted annually by NTA, that is National Testing Agency, that is under the control of Ministry of Human and Resource Development, that is now renamed as Ministry of Education, Government of India. Then the students getting JRF, Junior Research Fellowship, have sufficient amount to cover living expenses when they pursue their PG studies in IVRI, NDRI, or any other state agriculture university. Those students who are not getting JRF but secured admission in IVRI or NDRI get institutional scholarship. Mean if they are not, they do not get a JRF seat, then they can get institutional scholarship from IVRI or NDRI. Then if students get admission in some veterinary colleges, they may also get junior research fellowship or paid project work. Like in the second year of masters, their research work may be funded under some projects, so they may get some amount depending on the availability and the competition among the PG students. Then there are specific scenarios in which you have to look for that in which subject you want to do a PG. Like if you are looking for a career in agricultural research service, in short ARS, under the ICR body. Subjects, there are certain subjects which have maximum positions in ARS in various ICR research institutes. Like the topmost subject is animal genetics and breeding. Then we have veterinary microbiology, animal biotechnology or biochemistry, veterinary gynecology and obstetrics, veterinary pathology, LPM, that is livestock production and management. Then veterinary or animal physiology. In some universities or in central institutes, they have a discipline called veterinary physiology. In some they have animal physiology. They are both the same thing. And then in the last, veterinary medicine. Please note that there are opportunities or other subjects in ARS also, but they are less in comparison to these subjects. So these subjects are my personal choices. So it may vary from person to person. then I will like to remind that PhD is compulsory for ARS for applying with effect from year 2019. Then if you are looking to work in the field conditions, then I think clinical subjects are the best if you want to do your masters. They may be veterinary surgery and radiology, or veterinary medicine, or veterinary gynecology and obstetrics. You can choose surgery or medicine if you want to work especially for pet animals or exotic animals. Then you can choose either of the above three clinical subjects for large animals according to your interest. You can also choose veterinary preventive medicine and public health, that is veterinary epidemiology and public health, as master's subject. If you are interested in disease control at population levels, means at large level, one health or public health, this is the best subject if you want to work for international organizations like OIE, that is World Organization for Animal Health, that is headquartered in Paris, France. Then ILRI, International Livestock Research Institute, Nairobi, Kenya, or national agencies like Ministry of Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairying, Government of India, New Delhi. I was working as a livestock officer in Ministry of Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairying for 5 months in the first part of 2017. So they prefer candidates with public health, and then the recruitment is done through UPSC. Then you can also work for animal nutrition or animal health or nutrition companies. So if you want to work for them, you can do PG in certain subjects like masters in agribusiness management, veterinary medicine. For masters in agribusiness management, you may have to attempt CAT or some other exam. Then you may also do PG in veterinary medicine, animal nutrition or poultry science. Animal nutrition is a bright field in which you can do PG. Then you can also do PG in pathology, extension economics, animal biotechnology, biochemistry, pharmacology, parasitology, and LPT. LPT students are also preferred in food industries. Then there are certain other important options other than the previous ones. You can also work at GRF in research project or teaching personnel. Use this option if you want to be financially independent and want to gain research or teaching experience. Then you may also prepare for GRF exams simultaneously for next year. Some students who are financially weak, they want to do PG but not on their own expense. So after just completing BSc, they can do some work in the universities or in research project or as teaching personnel, and they can also simultaneously prepare for next year GRF exam. Then one can also work for animal welfare organizations such as Brook Hospital for Equines, that is a NGO NGO headquartered in UK. Then SPCA, Society for Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, or other NGOs, and they can gain in this way they can gain specialized experience in equines, pets, and other animals, especially surgical work like ABC, that is animal birth control. Then one of the major areas in which you can work after BSc is that you can open your own pet clinic, large animal clinic, mixed clinic, depending on the location of the clinic. Then if you are not getting admission in IVRI or NDRI after taking part in ICR PG exam, then you can prefer certain colleges or veterinary universities, like some of them are, these are my personal choices. Some of them are GBP UAT Pantnagar Uttarakhand, then Gadwasu Ludhiana Punjab, Luas Hisar Haryana, Tenuas Chennai Tamil Nadu, then Mathura Veterinary College, Rajuas Bikaner Rajasthan, Bangalore Veterinary College. After doing masters or PhD, vets can work as academicians or researchers in veterinary colleges. PhD, I will like to remind or like to add that PhD will be essential qualification for the post of assistant professor in universities from 1st of July 2021. These are the UGC guidelines. So different state agriculture universities may take time to amend their recruitment rules according to the central guidelines. Then during the master's course, you have to do lot of things. So you should aim to become a masters of the subject during the master's program. Yeah, you all know that there is increasing competition for academic level jobs like assistant professor, scientist, or postdoctorate fellow. Apart from the class notes, study good books and peer reviewed journals. Then, during the PG time period, you can write popular articles, study research articles. You can also involve in research work of your department. You have to participate in various conferences or seminars related to your PG subject. You should become a member of different academic or research associations in India as well as abroad. Then you should prepare for NET, that is National Eligibility Test, simultaneously when you are in the PG program. Then in the last part of the PG program, you should do a good research project for your thesis. And after completing your thesis, you should aim for publishing the research paper from your thesis work or the project work. This were the scenario of doing masters in India. Then I want to show you the career options after masters in foreign countries. So if you want, after pursuing PhD, you can work as research assistant, and there are some subjects in which you should do masters if you want to go abroad or want to work abroad in different universities or research organizations. These subjects are veterinary preventive medicine, epidemiology or public health, animal biotechnology or biochemistry, veterinary microbiology, that is immunology, virology or bacteriology, veterinary parasitology, pathology, pharmacology, LPT, anatomy. These are the major subjects. And this does not mean that other subjects have no scope, but there is little scope of other subjects, like if you do uh, masters in extension or economics. Then, what is the need of higher studies in foreign institutions? If you want to do professional advancement or specialization in a particular field, then you should choose to do higher studies in foreign universities to learn the latest development in a particular field, to foster collaboration in research and academic field among the top veterinary schools and universities between India and developed countries, to work and settle abroad, and to study from the top institutes in the world. And you can join back in India and adopt best practices for the development of livestock sector in India. Then I will like to show you the list of the top ranked veterinary schools in the world for the year 2021 according to the rankings provided by QS World University Rankings 2021 by subjects. So the number one college in the world is Royal Veterinary College, in short RVC. This is headquartered in London, UK. Then on second rank is University of California Davis, in short called UC Davis, USA. And third is Utrecht University in Netherlands or Holland. If you see the list of top 50 veterinary schools in world according to QS World University Rankings, then you can find only two veterinary schools in the Asia which feature in top 50 schools. The topmost university from Asia is University of Tokyo, that is ranked at 29th position, and the second in Asia is Seoul National University, that is ranked 45th globally. So you can see that no college from India or South Asia feature in top 50 veterinary schools of the world. Then there are common hurdles in foreign higher studies, veterinary studies. Most of the developed nations like USA, UK, Australia, New Zealand, Canada do not recognize BVSC and AH from Indian universities. Then there is very high tuition fees and living expenses. For example, like if you want to do MSc veterinary epidemiology at RVC, it will cost you around rupees 35 lakhs minimum. The breakup is like if the tuition fee is around 25 lakhs Indian rupees, plus you have to spend around rupees 10 lakhs as living expenses. Then you need to do PhD after masters if you want to pursue career in research or academic field. If someone want to practice in foreign countries, then they need to clear foreign veterinary licensing exams like NAVLE, North American Veterinary Licensing Exam, RCVS, that is Royal College of Veterinary Surgeons, AVBC, Australian Veterinary Council, etc., to practice in their clinics. Then for the foreign veterinary studies, there are general requirements for master's course like a first class degree in BVSC. Then you should have OGPA above 7.5 is ideal, but vets with OGPA above 7 may also apply if you, or you can also apply if you are among top 30% of your class. Then you have to clear certain English language tests like IELTS academic test or TOEFL test. Then you have to produce some publications also. These are not mandatory requirement. You may show some popular articles also, but this the publications is not a mandatory requirement for admissions in foreign countries. Then the requirement may vary depending on the course, university, country, and the scholarship you apply for. Then there are different titles of master course in foreign countries like MVPM, Master of Veterinary Preventive Medicine, MSc Veterinary Epidemiology, One Health, Wild Animal Biology, Animal Science, MS Masters in Science in Animal Molecular and Cell Biology, Masters of Science in Veterinary Medical Sciences. Then there are certain issues regarding to funding in USA, Canada, and Australian universities. Like universities in USA, Canada, or Australia offer assistantships and research assistantships, and many faculty members offer additional grant-funded research assistantship. There is one course at University of California, Davis, and that is called Master of Veterinary Preventive Medicines. There are different funding options under this program. You may click on this program after the presentation. I will be sharing the PDF of the this presentation in group also. Then you can also search for various funded opportunities on Google and contact admissions team of that program. You may also look at Fulbright scholarships that is given by USA in the area of public health and other related subjects. Then coming to the RVC, London, RVC or Royal Veterinary College is voted as world leading veterinary school. That is, it has been ranked as number one veterinary schools in year 2019 as well as 2021. This is the photo of principal of RVC, that is Professor Stuart Reid, showing the position of the school through placard. The RVC London is accredited by different organizations like Royal College of Veterinary Surgeons, Royal Society of Biology, EAEVE, ECOVNA, AVMA, that is American Veterinary Medical Association, then AVBC, that is Australasian Veterinary Boards Council. Then this is showing the brief history of the RVC. You can look at the slide after the presentation. Then this is a photograph showing the photograph of the teaching staff around 100 years back. Then these are the photographs of there are two campuses of Royal Veterinary College London. One is based in central London, that is called Camden campus. This slide shows the photograph of the RVC Camden campus. There is YouTube link also. You can watch it later after the presentation. And this is the second campus which houses large animal clinics. That is called Hawkshead campus. It is about 15 minutes train drive from the central London. Then there are certain postgraduate courses which are available at the Royal Veterinary College. The title of the courses are MSc One Health, Veterinary Epidemiology, Wild Animal Biology, Wild Animal Health, and there are certain diploma programs also. So you can contact by email at admissions@rvc.ac.uk, but you have to first study the web pages. So if there is any doubt, then only you can contact the team through the email ID. Then this is regarding the program regarding the MSc in One Health, ecosystems, health, humans and animals. As you know that there are changes in the environmental, social and agriculture conditions. So currently there is a threat to animal and human health and welfare. Many, as you know, that many infectious diseases can pass between animals and humans. That is called they are called zoonotic diseases. While food production, human diet, and community stability are harmed by diseases that infect livestock and wildlife. The One Health approach recognizes the relationship between health and disease at the human, animal, and environment interfaces and has become an important focus in both medical and veterinary science. This program is delivered jointly by RVC and London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, in short called LSSTM. Then there is MSc in Veterinary Epidemiology. As you know that in a world where global transport links allow rapid movement of people and animals, diseases can spread more quickly than before and it is harder to control than ever in the history. Then there is a growing need for trained epidemiologists at the front line of the disease surveillance, both in field of animal disease as well as human disease. This is also delivered jointly with LSSTM. So there are different modules and there is a research project also of 2 to 3 months. Then there is MSc in Wild Animal Biology. This is mainly for graduates with sciences in biological sciences like BSc Life Science, BSc Biotechnology. This is not for veterinarians. Uh, this MSc in Wild Animal Health is for veterinarians. Uh, Specialist veterinary expertise is required in order to diagnose and control diseases in wildlife. Then there are certain emerging infectious diseases which are recognized as serious hazard both for wild animal species and for the domestic animal and human populations that interact with them. This program will equip you with an in-depth knowledge of management of wild animals and the epidemiology, treatment and control of wild animal diseases. So after BSc, the requirement for this program is at least you should have at least 1 year clinical experience after completing your BSc. Then there are certain distance learning courses also which you can pursue through distance learning, like without going physically to RVC London. Then, as you know, that fees and living expenses are very huge in UK or any other developed country. So there are a lot of funding opportunities in UK for financing your PG studies. Some of the scholarships are Commonwealth Master Scholarship, Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, Commonwealth Split Site Scholarship. Split Site Scholarship means these are for PhD students. Like we have 2 year research work in PhD in India. So in split site scholarship, you can do 1 year research work in India and 1 year research work at a UK university or research institution. Then there are Chevening scholarship for masters programs. There are Commonwealth distance learning scholarship for masters, and there are some scholarships, partial scholarships or bursaries that may be offered by any particular college or university. Coming to the Commonwealth Masters Scholarship, these are funded by Commonwealth Scholarship Commission of UK. They are advertised and selected through Ministry of Human Resource Development, now called Ministry of Education, Government of India. The advertisement is generally out in September or October for next year courses. They are fully funded, like your tuition fee, living expenses, travel expenses, all are covered by this scholarship. Then there is Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. This is called Shared Scholarship because the tuition fee of the course is paid by CSC UK and your living expenses are paid by that concerned university. They are applied through the concerned university and CSC website. So you have to apply for to both, that is UK university and through CSC website. These are normally advertised in October, November or December. These are also fully funded. Last last year, there were 6 slots at RVC, 2 each in MSc One Health, MSc Vet Epi, and 2 in MSc Wild Animal Health or Wild Animal Biology. The course, I would like to remind that the course and the number of scholarships may vary from year to year. Then there are other scholarships like Chevening scholarships. Every year, Chevening scholarships give chance to around 600 students from all over the world to study their master's courses in UK. These are funded by FCDO, Foreign and Commonwealth Development Office. May apply to any master's course in UK. These are generally advertised in September each year. They are also fully funded. The selection is on the basis of application information and interview. Then there are Commonwealth split size scholarship. Commonwealth split size scholarships. These scholarships are for part of research work for PhD. Research work may be done at any UK university or any other UK research institution for 1 year. But there should be institutional collaboration between Indian and UK institute is must. Then you should apply for this scholarship through CSC website. Then if you want to pursue master's courses while remaining in India physically, then you can apply for Commonwealth Distance Learning Scholarship. These are also fully funded. The course list may change every year. Some courses include 1 week residential component in UK university or university in other countries like in Africa or Asia. The degrees may be completed between 2 to 5 years. There was a Commonwealth Scholars of Orientation workshop at RVC for MSc Veterinary Epidemiology and Public Health students. They were doing their degree programs through distance learning, but RVC welcomed them for a 1 week annual residential training teaching workshop at London campus. Then besides the Commonwealth scholarships and scholarship funded by UK universities, there are scholarships advertised on website of Ministry of Education in India or British Council. So you may refer to the website given in the slide. And you should also visit the website regularly for latest updates or knowing the new scholarships or any updates regarding to the scholarship. Then you may also visit the website of British Council India for various scholarships. Then regarding the admission plus scholarship applications, you should write essays containing development impact. That what will be the development impact if they give you scholarship, and what development impact will you make when you come back to your country. Then academic excellence matters, like what is your rank, what is your marks in percentage or CGO, GPA, or if you have got any scholarships in your UG program or at school level. Then one have to mention various extracurricular and co-curricular activities in the application form. Then one have to list community engagement programs they have done. You have to describe your leadership qualities, your networking capabilities with other students or society. Then you have to mention all the publications like research paper, popular articles, and you can also mention other volunteering activities in the scholarship application form. Then besides the taught master's program in UK, there are other research programs like PhD and MRes, that is Masters of Research. So up to 35 PhD students join RVC each year. Their main round of studentship is advertised in January. So you may look at the web page after the presentation. Then there are other addition requirements and related info. The qualification requirements for a specific course are listed on that specific course page on the website. The candidates from the non-English speaking countries like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, they need to give English language proficiency test like IELTS academic test or TOEFL test. The seats in the courses are limited and candidates are advised to apply early. Fees for the international students are more than UK or European Union students. For funding options, you may see the relevant course page for more information. Then one of the requirements for to do masters in developed countries is IELTS academic test or any other English language test which is required by the concerned university. Regarding the IELTS academic test, it is conducted by the jointly by the British Council and IDP Australia. It is designed to assess the English language ability of the prospective candidate. The test scores are valid for 2 years. There are four sub tests or sub-components of this test, that is listening, reading, writing and speaking. The scores will range from 1 to 9. Most courses require overall score of 7 with minimum 6.5 in each component. So the requirement of the score may vary from university to university or course to course. Then uh, I think I have covered this already. There are Commonwealth shared scholarship. Uh, for year 2021-22, the three scholarships each in MSc, VET, one health, wild animal health were available for candidates of eligible Commonwealth countries. So the competition is very tough as candidates from 24 low and middle Commonwealth countries may apply for this scholarship. The course fee is paid by CSC, that is Commonwealth Scholarship Commission. Stipend, that is living expenses, are paid by the Royal Veterinary College. Return airfare, thesis allowance, warm clothing allowance, visa fee, study grant allowance is also paid by RVC and CSC. CVS Chevening Scholarship, each year 40 to 50 students are selected for different courses, but you require minimum of 2 year work experience is mandatory for applying for this scholarship. The work experience may be full time after degree or part time. Like you can show your part time experience in any animal welfare work during the BVSC also. So these are also fully funded, but and you can apply for any taught masters program in UK. Then there are some specific scholarships which may come in some year and may not come in some year. So some of these scholarships are British Council India 70th anniversary scholarships. So they were funding 100 girls or women from India to pursue masters in STEM subjects, that is science, technology, engineering, and maths. So this year they have expanded the program to whole world, and this scholarship is also fully funded at various UK universities. So this for the current year there were different themes like climate change, then health systems under 19 different UK universities. Then at the Royal Veterinary College, we have different research centers and facilities like Structure and Motion Research Center, Veterinary Epidemiology, Economics and Public Health, Clinical Investigation Center, Animal Welfare Science and Ethics. Then at the RVC, we have undergrad courses like in vet medicine, biological sciences, veterinary nursing. You may look at the web pages after the presentation. Then when you complete the masters or the PhD in UK, then there are a lot of opportunities in UK and the rest of the world. Like after doing MSc, one can go for PhD studies from 2021-22 batch onwards. Foreign students can work in UK on work visa for 2 years after successful completion of studies. Some of the position profiles of RVC students from India are Associate Professor Epidemiology and Farm Health, University of Nottingham, done MSc Vet Epi from RVC in around early 2000s, like 2003 or 4. Then one veterinarian is working as Wellcome Trust PhD scholar in Department of Infectious Disease Epidemiology at Imperial College London. He have done MSc Wild Animal Health from RVC. Then one lady vet was working as research assistant in VEPH Research Center at RVC. She was doing a PhD in a RVC project, and she have done MSc One Health on a scholarship funded by Commonwealth Scholarship Commission. There may be many more whom I could not have found on the Google. Then there are research opportunities in India also. One may join universities and research institutions in India UGC has relaxed the minimum percentage requirement in master's course for PhD scholars, PhD holders from abroad. Then some Indian veterinary universities like BASU, Bihar Animal Sciences University, Patna have accepted the experience of 8 years as PDF, that is postdoctorate fellow, as eligibility for selection on the post of associate professor. For more information on scholarships in UK, you may visit my channel. You may email me, and I have given the website of RVC, and then you may also like the RVC Facebook page. I will like to thank the administration of Birsa Agriculture University for providing me this wonderful opportunity. Special thanks to Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Onkar Nath Singh, BAU Ranchi, Honorable Dean Dr. Sushil Prasad, Veterinary Science BAU Ranchi for their guidance, support and blessings. I will like to specially thank Dr. Nandini Kumari, Dr. Rebecca Singh and Merkinja Singh for the program planning, arrangements and the coordination. I will like to also thank all of you, all the BVSC first year to fifth year students for providing your important time, and thanks for the patience listening. So if you have any questions, you are please feel free to ask.
Thank you, Dr. Gulia sir. Such an exhaustive and holistic presentation a scholar can you all need could have guided our students. Nobody else, and I am really felt with lot of gratitude to you for this. Students, may you please come up with questions to be asked to sir. Any pertinent questions? Although I think the slides were damn exhaustive and they consisted of all the informations, do not forget to keep the email ID and contact sir for any guidance in future. Believe me, he has shaped the career of many innumerable students all over India. So, and the best part is that this selfless attitude has helped placed many students, including Nikita Singh and many other students. Whoever approaches him, he is there to guide them. So, students, anytime if you feel free. It's not only about foreign, back India as well. You can contact sir on his mail ID or Facebook. Now, please, any pertinent questions? अगर कुछ पूछना है तो पूछ लें सर से.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Anil, good morning, good afternoon.
Hello, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, Dr. Rebecca.
Hel-
Yes, Dr. Rebecca, please go ahead. You are audible.
Hello, ma'am. Am I
You are
audible?
audible. Yes, you are totally audible. Please go ahead.
A very good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Dr. Sandeep Gulia, sir. Very good afternoon. I'm Dr. Rebecca, sir. Sir, it was wonderful to hear from you, and you have almost covered everything under the umbrella. And it was so inclusive, and I'm so glad to hear you. And sir, I also want to mention I'm also an alumni from NDRI,
Okay.
the same institute you did MBSc. And I did PhD from NDRI and MVSc from IVRI. And so, sir, my question is, sir, most of the times our students used to ask, like, how to practice as a veterinary practitioner in abroad. And sir, whatever I know is in USA, we have to clear that North American licensing for veterinary exam, that NAVLE or some that
Yes.
exam. So other than that, if we want to go abroad and practice as a veterinary doctor, then what are the exams or what are the procedures we have to follow? Other than that NAVLE exam, or including that also?
The NAVLE is mainly for the USA and Canada. So now it is called ECVFG, that is Educational Commission for Veterinary Foreign Graduates. NAVLE is one part of ECVFG. So in different countries, they have different exams, they have different boards. Like if you want to go to UK, then this is called RCVS exam. That is, you have to become member of Royal College of Veterinary Surgeons. Then if you want to practice in New Zealand or Australia, then you have to apply through the website of AVBC, that is Australasian Veterinary Board Council. So there are different names in different countries. Mostly the pattern is same. Like one have to clear theoretical test first, and after completing or successfully passing the theoretical test, one have to successfully pass the practical test also. Then after successfully passing the practical test, they will get a membership of their veterinary council and one can practice there.
Sir, I think we can appear for the exam from India itself, and
Yeah,
after clearing all the procedure, we need to go and
yeah,
practice also for some time
yeah,
there.
yeah. Mm, after clearing the theoretical exam, you can get a temporary license. You can work under a veterinarian there who is fully registered, and you can hone your practical skills like surgical skills, gynecological skills, and all the practical skills. You can work as a trainee, and one can be paid some amount also. So it is not that it is like free work or voluntary work. So after clearing the exams, like it depends on the I think country to country, but most of the countries have started their theoretical exam centers in India. So after clearing the exams from India, you can go to that respective country and work under some qualified vet for 6 to 12 months, and then one can easily clear the practical exams also.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Rebecca. Now, Anil, you were
Yes,
perhaps
ma'am.
asked a question. Go ahead, beta.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
First of all, thank you, sir, for guiding us with such a wonderful career guiding presentation, sir. And my question is that what is the course duration of masters in Royal Veterinary College and other top veterinary colleges, sir?
Uh, the duration of the masters depends on the country or university in which you apply. Like in UK, all courses, all taught programs, all taught masters courses are of 1 year only. I would like to make it clear that Indian government do not recognize masters program from UK because they are of 1 year. Because Indian government says that we will recognize only master's degrees which have minimum of 2 years durations. But currently some negotiations are going on. As you will be aware that new education policy 2021 has come out from Indian government side. So they will be recognized as 1 year courses also. In USA, the most of the courses are of 2 years, but like for the masters of veterinary preventive medicine at UC Davis, you can finish the program in between 1 to 2 years. So it depends on how much credits you take in first year. If you want to complete in 1 year also, then you have to take all the credits and project work. If you want to complete in 2 years, then you can complete in two also. But in USA, most of the courses are of 2 years. So you have to search on the university website and see whether the course is of 1 year is or 2 years.
Sir, one more question, sir. Sir, for example, if we are pursuing masters in UK, that is a 1 year course. So in that case, what benefit or priorities will be given after coming back to India in terms of research or academics?
Like I will like to make it clear that if you want to pursue masters, then in this competitive era, you have to do PhD also and maybe some PDF work also. Because around 10, 15 years back, as Dr. Nandini may also be knowing that after completing PG or MBSc, one can become assistant professor. But nowadays, PhD is compulsory for academic or research work. So after doing MVSc or MS Masters, you have to do PhD first. The scenario in the developed countries is that after completing Masters, they work for 1 or 2 years as research assistant or in some job. Then after 1 or 2 years, after gaining research experience, they proceed to do their PhD. It's not like that in India that you have to do PhD straight after MBSc. So in developed countries, they take research or like job under some guide after a master's. For after 1 or 2 years, they get chances to do PhD. So I think this is a competitive world. So if you want to do masters in like clinical subjects and want to open your own clinic or work in some clinic, then it's fine. Otherwise, I think in my view, if you want to do if you want to do masters, then you should also plan for PhD.
Okay, sir. Sir, what will be the then maximum age limit for admissions in such universities, sir?
In UK, there is no maximum age limit. Like I have gone to pursue my masters, second masters, at the age of I think 36, 36. So there is no age limit.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Anil. Any more questions?
I will like to tell about the funding. Sorry to disturb you. Actually, I have combined, like I was having three presentations, which I have delivered at IVRI Pantnagar, IVRI, then GB Pant University, then some online also. Then I have to like make a mixture of all those three presentations for this lecture. And when you get a fully funded scholarship in UK, then after like your tuition fee is paid through scholarship either by university or British Council or the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission. The cost of the master's course is around 20 to 25 lakhs. Then you get paid for living expenses also. Like if you let's take the example of Nikita. Like if she want to do MSc Public Health and Promotion from Brunel University, then she will get around like 1350 pounds as monthly. 1350 pounds, that is equivalent to like 1 lakh 35,000 rupees per month as living expenses. So one may save around 35 to 40,000 rupees per month after meeting living expenses like rent, food, etc. So you can, this is like you get 35, you hardly get 35 to 40,000 in India after completing BSc, and one is getting like 35 to 40,000 and simultaneously pursuing masters also. So there is a huge cost to British Council, to UK universities on providing such scholarships.
Thank you, sir. So it means that if they get the opportunity to pursue the course outside with the scholarship, they are able
Yeah.
to meet the expenses as well as they are able to save a good amount of money every month.
Yeah.
Although back home they do not get sufficient scholarship even to meet the expenses or for education. Right, sir? So students, the best part is that just forget the past. What was your OGPA? How you couldn't get into medical? Maybe God had some good plans for you. Now the thing is that try to be sincere. Forget everything in the past. Work sincerely in the present, and future would be yours. करत करत अभ्यास के जड़मति होत सुजान रसरी आवत जात ते शिल पर पड़त निशान. In nutshell, if you are sincere, nobody is going to stop you from getting your passion, getting your aim. And the way sir has given this holistic presentation, I again say that it was really wonderful. Sir, thank you very much, sir. I think there are no more questions from student. I still ask if there are questions, please go ahead. Otherwise, we will be proceeding towards the end of the program. Because the Dean sir is not here, unfortunately, otherwise you would be having words of wisdom from him as well. Dr. Rebecca definitely had a few slight conversation. So moving towards the end, I request you all to accept vote of thanks on behalf of organizer, co-organizer, and coordinator for this program. First of all, I thank Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir, whose mentorship provides us the inspiration to work hard and to work sincerely. We all know that our Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir is a great academician, great scholar, great administration, and even better an individual. So students, try to emulate his path of struggle so that you all get the same success what he has achieved in life, and that also being the best individual as he is. Now, I also take this opportunity to thank Dr. Sandeep Gulia sir for agreeing to be a part of this session despite his busy schedule, and that also with such a wonderful presentation so as to throw light on each and every aspect related to studying abroad, scholarship, everything. Sir, you are an exemplary vet who sets an example with colossal of knowledge and at the same time selfless help to the students. You all will be surprised to know that just because I used to get questions from you all, at one point of time I inquired sir about these things, and I just requested sir, would you please sir help me guide the students, or would you please guide the students? I was surprised how instantly he agreed to it. This shows great people with great knowledge have definitely the zeal to help as well, and as they are very humble. Thank you once again, sir, for agreeing to
Thank
be a
you.
part of this program. I thank in absentia Dean, sir, who has been like a guardian, support pillar, and mentor for his students. When I talked about this program to sir took minutes, just seconds even, to agree to it, and he said that there couldn't be a better option for the students to think and to get inspired, get motivated, and get aware about such programs. And then I also thank Dr. Rebecca, who is like a bombshell of positive energy and knowledge. Her presence and help makes me dare to think, makes us dare to think together of big, bigger, and biggest. Thank you, Dr. Rebecca. Then I also thank Mrityunjay ji, whose support since decades have been uncountable in the career of many students. He has been very positive and encouraging with all the students. And this time also he advocated and helped turn this idea of an ignorant and nerd like me into a reality. Last but most importantly, you all students, because you all have the desire to excel, because I felt that you all panic at times, you all are not aware of few facts, because I saw the enthusiasm and sincerity to learn about it, the eagerness to know inspired us towards exploring this zenith. So thank you to all the students for patient listening, for trying to figure out, for trying to get the knowledge out of the darkness, having that zeal and enthusiasm. Thank you all the students. And so, moving towards the end, once again, thanks to one and all, my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Gulia sir. Please contact sir whenever you need it on his email ID, because try to think big. Once I had read in a Hindi textbook when I was in lower classes that if when you aim bigger, even if it fails to reach that height, definitely you will have a substantial achievement in life. So always try to aim big. Nothing is impossible in this world. And with a hope to continue the series further, सितारों के आगे जहां और भी है, अभी वेटनरी के इम्तिहां और भी है. So keep studying, stay happy, stay safe, stay healthy, stay positive, and happy Sunday to all of you. Thank you one and all. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Rebecca. Thank you, students.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
So we have moved towards the end. Okay, bye, children. Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.